Everyone got pranked at one point in their lives. Biting an Oreo cookie and feeling that bitterness of a toothpaste. Getting a PS5, but it's not actually a PS5. So how did we get from hunting mammoths to rotting in our gaming chair watching these goofy prank videos? What is the psychology behind all of this? And what makes a prank a 10 out of 10 prank besides Josh's father leaving him, which is a f***ing genius prank, Josh, you gotta be honest. The place? A castle. The king, Brody II. Every sane person had this thought that kings in the medieval times were probably bored most of the day. Think about it, no TikTok thoughts dancing half naked, no Kardashians drama, obviously no space travel. You're just sitting in your hall and some peasants cry about someone stealing their apples. But during that time, kings had jesters to entertain them, who were kinda like today's pranksters and comedians. Now, in 2022, we can all enjoy this kind of entertainment, but back in the 14th century, only kings had access to the internet. But the jester's role was more than just entertainment. Because of his status, he could have pulled pranks on anyone, on the king's wife, mistress, and even on the almighty king himself. Yo, King Brody, check out this joke. When is a king like a piece of wood? Tell me! When it's a ruler. Guards! Okay, maybe the jester couldn't go that far, but the jester is a fine example of when you can cross a line in society for the sake of pranks. And if the intention is purely for the purpose of enjoyment, literally one sentence can save your life. That was just a prank, king, I'm a jester. Which is quite similar to the that was just a prank bro type of pranksters we have nowadays. But even the jester had a problem with the gray area. He could go far for the sake of pranks, but he couldn't go too far, even if that was just a prank. That gray area of what's acceptable really depends on the culture. Let's put it that way. If I'm gonna show a New Yorker pranks in Russia where they literally harass people, that is so human-phobic and problematic and canceling Milan. So fast forward to the 21st century, we have Tom Green, Ed Bassmaster, Vitaly Ziri TV, Roman Atwood, and now we've got Gideon and Love who are basically dominating the prank niche. And I'm quite sure I also missed a few others, but that begs the question, what is the meaning of life? There isn't any meaning. We are just a small dot within a small dot within an even smaller dot compared to the entire universe. But that begs another question. Are we all psychopaths for liking this kind of content? And what makes a 10 out of 10 prank? And the answer lies in the psychology of the perfect prank. Rule number 1. The situation must be awkward and unexpected. What is the point of a prank if the whole situation feels normal? Pranks are not chemistry theories 101 with Dr. Feelgood. Pranks are chemistry experiments 101 with Walter White. I'm talking explosives, dead bodies, screaming. This is exactly what pranksters usually do. They get themselves into awkward and unexpected scenarios with a little touch of chaos. Police! Police! Where are you? We like to watch this kind of content because we want to see how people react to these awkward scenarios. And we can put ourselves in the shoes of the prankster or in the shoes of the person that's being pranked. But what about Father's Day, Josh? People expect to see their father on this day. But let me tell you, these April Fool's pranks are pure trash. It may be a gold bag, but it's still trash. Because this is the only day where everyone are expecting to be pranked. And if the person is expecting the prank, the reaction is gonna be so bad you're gonna want to break your screen, bro, I'm serious. If you're over the age of 10, you're not gonna enjoy it as a viewer, but if you have a low IQ like Josh does, because he still hasn't thought of checking the local brothel to find his dad, I just gave you a clue, Josh. Then yeah, maybe you would enjoy this kind of pranks. Now hold on, I know what you're thinking. 99% of the pranks nowadays are childish, Mark, and yeah, that's quite accurate, I'm not gonna lie. But April Fool's pranks are like if a child of a childish prank had a child, and this child had a child with his father, and then they just mate with each other, and then it's disgusting. It's incest within a swing set, like an insect and the scent. What's with the scent? Oh, That's Josh's desperation for a father figure. So a real prankster doesn't prank people on April Fool's Day. A real prankster lives that life on a daily basis. Even Russia's biggest prankster that already put his gloves on after being in prison for 6 months made a confession that even a year after retirement, he's still walking down the street of Moscow and sees it through the lens of a prankster. The nail in the coffin of why the 1st of April is an amateurish trash can be summarized by Harry Allen Smith. The first day of April is when the skilled operators in the business withdraw from the field and leave the day to the minor leagues, who proceed to fill the sugar bowl with salt and pass around exploding cigars. The second rule of a good prank: apathy, aka no emotions or stand in character. When you're pranking someone, there are only 2 ways to ruin the entire thing. 1. If he spots your lame-ass cameraman, and 2, if you can't keep a straight face while filming the prank. Since the pranks nowadays are filmed in a vlog format where they just stick the lens in the person's face, a good interaction usually comes down to keeping a straight face when you approach the person. That way, the person would actually treat your words seriously, no matter what you're saying. You can say the most up stuff, but as long as you're saying it with a serious tonality, they would actually treat you seriously.
Your lips look tasty.
Man, you get out of here.
It's homophobic,
Man, go ahead on, okay?
but it's Pride Month.
Your problem. You walk up and tell me some shit like that. Get the hell on.
Apathy is also important because it lowers the chances for a physical escalation. Because nobody wants to get killed over a prank. Nobody wants to collect his teeth from the floor. We all want to keep our jawline intact. And that's why every prankster must summarize this graph. So if you're about to prank someone, screenshot this graph. Trust me, I have a PhD in prank studies. So saying things with apathy lowers the weight of the words, even if the words are usually f***ed up. And that apathy often leads to confusion, which is great for a prankster, because if the person is confused, he's gonna ask questions. Yo, what's going on here? Josh, are you participating in demonetizing activities with your father? And it's relatively easy to come up with a witty response to, yo, what's going on here? Than to, get the f*** out of here or I'm gonna call the cops. So staying in character is a must, and being apathetic is a must. The third rule is where 99% of the pranksters actually fail: comebacks. And more importantly, witty comebacks. I'm talking Harvey Specter, Russell Brand, Craig Ferguson type of comebacks. You gotta know how to improvise with a good comeback. Otherwise, I hate to break it to you, you suck. So I want you to imagine that you're a prankster, just a regular day at work. But there's a problem. There are a lot of Karens in the US, and Karen's kryptonite is this innocent object: a camera. Karen is walking towards you. Don't film me, I didn't give you a permission to film me, I'm gonna call the cops and I'm gonna break your camera. And now a dilemma appears. How do I handle this Karen? Hey Karen, look at this cute boy, wouldn't you like to adopt Josh? Outcome, your camera breaks, Josh is still an orphan. Oh, I'm sorry Karen, I didn't mean to film you, sorry. Outcome, you're a loser, your girlfriend breaks up with you, you lose about 100k subscribers. I can do whatever the f*** I want and you're not gonna tell me what I can't or can do. Outcome, your audience will think that you went too far and you spent the night with Nugget.
I hope you brought Vaseline.
Solution number 4. A solution that will make the audience respect you and literally dick ride you. A good comeback.
Why are you filming him?
He's not filming.
Well, it looks like he's filming.
No, he's taking 30 pictures per second.
He's gaming right now.
No, he's just computing.
Computing? What's going on, guys? I believe he's computing. This gentleman here is computing. What does that mean?
Yeah, he's just computing.
And this genre of witty comebacks is what's taking over. Gone are the days when you just run and scream, that was just a prank, because you literally got nothing to say. And that's one of the most important things to pull a 10 out of 10 prank. Russian pranksters already realized that years ago. Their entire pranks are based on witty comebacks. So, my dear fellow American pranksters, I'm glad you decided to evolve. Rule number 4, and the last rule of being a really good and respectable prankster. When shit hits the fan, you gotta own it. One thing that really pisses me off is when a prankster clearly crosses the line with his prank to the point where saying it's just a prank ain't working anymore. Every prankster must realize that pointing towards the camera doesn't free you from responsibility. If you threaten people in the hood, you can't just point towards the camera and expect the guy to be like, okay bro, my bad, I didn't see the camera. Don't worry, as long as you have a camera, you can threaten everybody. That is the gray area, and a good prankster should know what line he can or can't cross. Obviously based on the culture he's currently at. So, before pulling a prank, you always have to think, Josh, think, where the hell did your father go? But not right now, you're flying a plane, why the hell are you even flying a plane? You always have to think if you're crossing that sweet spot when saying it's just a prank won't help you. The further you cross that sweet spot, the chances of you getting punched in the face drastically go up, and you gotta expect some extreme reactions from people, which doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, you can't blame the person for reacting a certain way. And I'm not like a woke SJW who gets offended by the smallest things. I'm just stating facts. If you're a prankster, you gotta own it. And that all makes me think, are pranksters psychopaths? In order to pull a good prank, you can't really care about the emotions of the other person. Even if the person feels super uncomfortable, you gotta keep going with the prank. The innocent person is like a lemon and you just squeeze and squeeze until you get a reaction out of him. Even Harry Helen Smith outlines in his book that pranks are often practiced by men of little wit and less imagination. In such hands, it can be cruel. And despite these brutal facts, I still enjoy watching pranks because I'm a psychopath who grew up in a Soviet household where we don't care about emotions, and that's why I don't give a about your father, Josh. Honestly, I don't think they are pranking people because of their bad intentions, and if we put fame aside, what really got them into this kind of content was mostly not feeling accepted. It really seems like every prankster came from a depressive background with tons of social anxiety. The point being, pranks were that getaway for them to become that popular person they always wanted to be. Cause who doesn't wanna be the guy that can do whatever the he wants and doesn't give a fuck about anything? Not about you, not about me, not about Josh who is currently drowning, but I don't care as well. By the way, Josh, how's the water? And you might be wondering, how do you know all of this, Mark? Like, yeah, Mark, you're tall and you're handsome and you're super humble, but the knowledge. Mostly because I did it myself. Yeah, I was one of those guys, those pranksters. And while I wasn't doing like super crazy pranks, there were a lot of scenarios where the person would get really pissed. And when I won this psychological battle, it really becomes quite addicting. To the point where that prankster/troll god character literally becomes you. And it basically feels like being bipolar. That's why a lot of pranksters in the past coped with drugs. So, are pranksters psychopaths? I don't think so. Even if you're Putinizing yourself to be in that state of mind where you have zero emotions, it doesn't mean that you're gonna have zero emotions 24/7, and I think it's quite obvious. Let's put it that way. If me and you are gonna watch Josh finally reunited with his father with our own eyes, no matter how tough me and you are, we're gonna cry. Seriously, bro. I'm gonna cry. But if millions of viewers are enjoying this kind of content, well, maybe we all have that psychopathic side within us. So I truly hope you enjoyed this one. Bye.